Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Martial Universe Season 9 Part 63 based on novel. So let's start. I've changed myriads and manifestations to elephant for our little elephant king Juzi. Please let me know in the comments if I missed any Tai tilde. Majestic and terrifying yuan power fluctuations swept over the sky like a torrential ocean. The entire immeasurable mountain trembled under the impact of this yuan power. Countless pairs of eyes gravely watched the sea of flames spreading in the sky and the 10,000 feet large saint elephant. Anyone could feel just how powerful these skills of Tang Xinlian and Juzi were. That Xu Xiu is the number one on the rookie list. It is not strange for him to force Juzi to such an extent. However, who is the one fighting Tang Xinlian? He is also so powerful. Some puzzled voices sounded within the hearts of a number of people. This competition was really unpredictable. Mo Luo's eyes were calm as he watched the immeasurable mirror in the sky from the main hall of the Flame Divine Hall. However, the hands placed behind his back slowly clenched tightly. As Tang Xinlian's master, he was naturally well aware of the strongest skill the former possessed. If even this Flame Divine life-transforming skill was unable to stop Hua Chen, this fight would likely have a conclusion. This was clearly also the case for Juzi. The Sage Elephant indestructible body could be considered a top martial art even within Thousand Elephant Mountain. Are they still not going to make an appearance? Mo Luo's keen eyes seemed to tear apart space itself as it scanned the area while a gloomy expression flashed across his face. He had yet to sense any Yimo fluctuations even till now. However, he could vaguely detect evil and merciless gazes watching everything that was happening in this place from the depths of space itself. These wretched things, they have become increasingly cunning. Mo Luo muttered. All he could do was continue to watch the immeasurable mirror. Bang! A sea of flames while a figure lightly walked out from the within. A pair of huge flame wings gently flapped behind her. The scorching heat caused the temperature of this realm to rise rapidly. At this moment, Tang Xinlian's aura was undoubtedly much stronger than before. Crimson flames surrounded her body. These flames were filled with an extremely great destructive power. Quite some distance away, Juzi had already turned into a giant and his skin emitted a jade-like radiance. The 10,000 feet large giant elephant behind him stood in the sky in an extremely domineering fashion. Everyone was a little anxious as they looked at the two individuals who had unleashed their final techniques. They could vaguely sense that the subsequent clash would determine the victor of both battlegrounds. Mu Lingshan's large eyes looked at the sky from one of the peaks. Her small hands were tightly clenched while her small and exquisite face was covered with anxiety. Compared to Mu Lingshan's anxiety, Lin Dong's young face by the side seemed to be as calm as the deep abyss. His eyes slowly closed after glancing at the sky. Big brother Lin Dong. Mu Lingshan turned her head to look at the young man whose body was as straight as the scepter in his hand. She could vaguely sense that the rate of the energy being gathered within the latter's body was becoming even quicker. I will absolutely not hand the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol to you wretched things. In the sky, flames gathered within Tang Xinlian's pretty eyes. However, the expression in her eyes was bone-piercingly cold. The blazing wings on her back abruptly flapped and her body shot towards the clouds like a phoenix while flames that seemed to cover the sky spread. Flames of Nirvana. Ayo! A sea of flames spread while a clear and icy phoenix cry echoed in the sky. Countless pairs of gazes were lifted and they saw a huge blazing phoenix shooting downwards in a straight line. The flames on its body burned fiercely as if intending to incinerate the land, and it gave off the feeling of bravely charging forward. Sage Elephant indestructible body, Sage Elephant fury. A low and deep roar had also resounded from another part of the sky at this moment. The giant that Juzi had transformed into and the 10,000 feet large Sage Elephant behind him both released a furious roar towards the sky. Boundless white light spread as the space itself began to shudder. The giant rode the Sage Elephant as they suddenly charged forward. In that instance, space distorted and it felt as though 10,000 elephants were charging together. Its power could destroy mountains. This sight caused the hearts of countless onlookers to tremble. He is indeed worthy of being one of the top 3 on the rookie list. Hua Chen stood in the air. He lifted his head to look at the brilliant phoenix that was rapidly magnified in his eyes. Fatal danger was lay under its brilliance. However, this is still not enough. Black light seemed to surge from deep within Hua Chen's eyes. A smile slowly took shape from the corners of his mouth as he slowly took a step forward. Bang! Monstrous black light gushed out from within Hua Chen's body like a black waterfall at this moment. It seemed as though the entire land had darkened due to this black light. A kind of dark and sinister evilness quietly reverberated over the entire land. While monstrous black light surged out from Hua Chen's body, in another part of the sky, Xu Xiu extended his hand in an indifferent manner. His arm began to turn black at an astonishing speed while a strange fluctuation was emitted. Rumble. The phoenix's wings were spread as it flew across the sky at a shocking speed like a crimson meteorite. In the blink of an eye, it appeared in the air above Hua Chen's head. Its heat caused some of the trees on Immeasurable Mountain to spontaneously burst into flames. Hua Chen gazed at the blazing phoenix as the black light in his eyes intensified to the extreme. He suddenly clenched his hand as an unusually dark and cold voice was emitted, "Great Sky Demon Body." Swoosh! Countless black lights whistled out. A faint but brutal roar seemed to emerge from within the black lights. Hua Chen's body swelled at lightning speed as the black light squirmed and a pair of black bat wings that were covered with sharp bones suddenly spread out from behind him. Many strange black symbols also covered his body. A terrifyingly evil ripple spread outwards. Boom! The enormous creature within the darkness howled at the sky. It subsequently clenched its large fist and a punch was thrown. Black light gathered under the punch and strange black flames appeared. Xu Xiu looked at the giant and sage elephant that were madly charging towards him. Those diamond pupils of his seemed to widen at this moment. Soon after, he lifted his now black arm and gently waved it as a hoarse voice slowly spread. Devouring Demon Abyss. A several thousand feet large black line split open space as Xu Xiu's black finger drew across the air. Its edges swiftly split open as an incomparably huge, dark and deep abyss appeared from nowhere. The deep abyss appeared like the huge mouth of an ancient demonic beast. Black light churned and suddenly extended outwards. Subsequently, it clashed against the sage elephant and giant that were charging towards it. Bang! For terrifying attacks collided. In that instant, a loud indescribable sound rumbled across the sky and land like thunder of the 9 heavens. Frightening energy waves rippled and spread outwards, causing signs of collapsing to appear on the giant peaks. Strong resplendent light was emitted, causing the eyes of countless horrified individuals to slightly narrow. Soon after, their eyes were forcefully opened and they quickly looked towards the distant sky with great anxiety. Ayo! Another phoenix cry sounded. However, there seemed to be an additional mournful sound within the phoenix cry. After which, everyone watched as a huge cluster of flames flew backwards. The blazing phoenix crumbled inch by inch, and in the end, a beautiful figure was revealed. However, the soft armor of the figure had cracked and fresh blood seeped out, causing the Flame Divine Hall's flame fairy to appear rather miserable. Roar! A low and furious roar spread from the deep black abyss. The deep abyss churned as the giant was flung out. Finally, it smashed heavily into one of the mountain peaks, causing it to fall apart due to the terrifying resultant force. Silence filled the sky. The interior of the immeasurable mirror and fiery flame city had fallen into a stifling silence. Numerous gazers looked at the two miserable figure within the immeasurable mirror in a dazed manner, and no one spoke for a time. Tang Xinlian and Zhu Zi were defeated. The Gu Minchi trio stood on a pavilion as they gently bit their red lips before softly sighing. This ending was somewhat unexpected. However, there was nothing they could do. These two individuals were really too powerful. Mo Luo from the Flame Divine Hall watched this scene as the hands behind his back trembled slightly. Psi star. The first elder of the Flame Divine Hall sighed. Was the plan about to end in failure? Even Tang Xinlian and Zhu Zi were unable to stop those two. Who else was left within the immeasurable mirror who would dare to fight Hua Chen and Xu Xiu? Is it over? Mo Luo's fist was tightly clenched. His eyes were filled with an unresigned expression. The first elder of the Flame Divine Hall was about to utter some words of comfort when his expression suddenly altered. At the same time, Mo Luo also lifted his head. Those eyes of his were somewhat surprised as he looked at the immeasurable mirror. Eh? Some exclamations suddenly rose like a wave and spread within Fiery Flame City. Many pairs of eyes contained shock as they looked at the immeasurable mirror. They could suddenly sense a surging and majestic battle aura piercing through the heavens. This aura was like a blade being unsheathed from its scabbard. Its sharpness was astonishing. Countless pairs of startled eyes shifted. After which, they watched the skinny figure who had been previously seated on one of the mountain peaks like a rock, slowly stand up with the Lightning Emperor scepter in his hand. Wind and lightning appeared at that moment. That is Lindong? This sudden surge of battle intent drew countless gazes from entire the city over. They were startled when they saw the skinny figure that slowly stood up, but quickly recognized him. What does he plan on doing? Could it be that he still wishes to fight for the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol? This fellow is really overestimating himself. Now is not the time to try and act mighty. Several people looked at each other in dismay. Although it was extremely courageous for Lindong to have stepped forward at this moment, both Tang Xinlian and Zhu Zi were defeated by the Shuxiu duo. Was there any point for Lindong to fight? Besides a miserable defeat that would further strengthen the Shuxiu duo's ferocious reputation, how could there be any other result? Is Lindong about to take action? The eyes of the first elder of the Flame Divine Hall rippled slightly as he stood above the hall while an uproar suddenly spread throughout the city. There was not much hope in his eyes as he quietly sighed. It is pointless to worry now. Why don't we believe that this little fellow will be able to create a miracle? Mo Luo spoke in a faint voice. The first elder laughed bitterly as he said, I do not doubt Lindong's ability. If he was to take on either Xinlian or Zhu Zi alone, he will not fall into a disadvantageous situation. However, it is clear that Hua Chen and Xu Xiu are stronger than them. Moreover, Lindong will have to face the both of them alone. Mo Luo was quiet. The Shuxiu duo's strength was such that even some experts from the older generation could not compare. Even less needed to be said for the younger generation. Lindong might be strong, but it would be hard for him to fight against those two by himself. However, did they have any choice at this moment? All they could do was to believe that the young man in front of him could save them from this desperate crisis. He really does intend to fight. Inside a certain pavilion, Ji Yumingqi's pretty eyes focused on the figure within the immeasurable mirror as her red lips pursed a little. There was some helplessness in her eyes, however, there was also some hidden admiration deep within them. Who amongst the younger generation of the chaotic demon sea would dare to provoke those two devil gods after Tang Xinlian and Zhu Zi were defeated? It was as if this young man's seemingly skinny figure would be able to support the sky even if it collapsed. By her side, Ji Yu Yang and Ji Yu Ya also laughed bitterly. This young fellow performed extraordinary feats in a seemingly ordinary manner. Would he also be able to create a miracle that could only belong to himself this time around? Within the immeasurable mirror, formidable surging fighting intent soared towards the heavens. Even the clouds in the sky seemed to churn due to this fighting intent. Everyone on Immeasurable Mountain was startled by this sudden fighting intent. Their eyes were filled with astonishment as they gathered on the figure. Lightning flashed around Lindong's body. At this moment, he appeared akin to a lightning dragon that had been awoken from his slumber as a frightening aura spread like floodwaters. Big brother Lindong. Mu Lingshan looked at Lindong, who was standing as straight as his scepter ever since he stood up. She could clearly detect that a wild and violent power that was churning within the latter's body like an ocean. Lindong, Tang Xinlian wiped off the blood at the corner of his mouth. Her pretty eyes looked at Lindong, who now stood in the air as a complicated expression flashed within her eyes. Leave the rest to me. I cannot say that I will definitely win, but I will do everything I can. Lindong glanced at Tang Xinlian and did not say anything else as he turned around. He tightly gripped the Lightning Emperor scepter as he walked towards the distant sky. Those eyes of his were filled with contemplation as he stared at the Hua Chen duo. Tang Xinlian gazed at Lin Dong's back, while her pretty eyes appeared to a little dazed. This young man might not have a burly look, but those skinny shoulders of his seemed to be able to block a tsunami. At this very moment, in Tang Xinlian's eyes, his back seemed to give her the same imposing and steady feeling that Mo Luo gave her. "Be careful." Tang Xinlian gently clenched her teeth and said. She did not say anything to stop him. At this moment, she understood that no one would be able to stop this man whose desire to battle seemingly covered the sky. Lin Dong's body shook slightly. Soon after, he gently waved his hand as he stepped forward. After which, he paused around 1,000 feet from Xu Xiu and Hua Chen. "Ha ha, have you finally come out now that there is nowhere to hide?" Hua Chen stared at Lin Dong with eyes filled with ridicule. However, those eyes were exceptionally dark and cold. Xu Xiu's eyes were indifferent as he looked at Lin Dong while black light danced like electricity at his fingertips. The duo's auras were extremely dangerous. No one would underestimate them after the earlier display. If nothing unexpected happened, they would become the strongest individuals amongst the current younger generation of this chaotic demon sea. "I'm afraid that the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol cannot be allowed to land in the hands of you dirty creatures." Lin Dong met the Hua Chen's gaze and slowly said. "Do you think that someone like you, who only knows how to hide behind a woman, has the qualification to say such words to me?" Hua Chen's mouth parted to form a grin. Those sinister white teeth of his gave off a terrifyingly chilling aura. "The Hua Yuan trio have already died at my hands. Your fate will not be any different." Lin Dong laughed and said. The smile on Hua Chen's lips widened as a vicious look flashed across his eyes. After which, he tilted his head and spoke to Xu Xiu, "You take the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol. I will finish this brat off." Xu Xiu glanced indifferently at Lin Dong. He nodded before turning to leave. Lin Dong's eyes narrowed upon seeing this. With a flip of his hand, a light seal appeared on his palm. After which, it spread at a shocking speed. Within a short 10 breaths, it had turned into a 10,000 feet large light formation that enveloped the surrounding land. Kai Kai! The light formation rotated and a light curtain came falling from the sky. It directly covered Hua Chen and Xu Xiu. "Don't tell me that you wish to fight the both of us alone." Hua Chen looked at the huge formation that had spread across the sky. The smile on his mouth was filled with mockery as he cocked his head slightly and looked at Lin Dong. Those eyes seemed as though they were looking at a fool. He was really unable to imagine just where this Lin Dong's courage was from. The latter actually dared to stop both himself and Xu Xiu alone. Lin Dong's expression was indifferent. He shut his eyes a little as Yuan power surged in his channels. Majestic mental energy also gushed out from his Niwen palace at this moment. These two powers converged within the ancient universe formation in his body. As the formation rotated, the two powers faintly showed signs of fusing together as a shocking fluctuation slowly spread. "Let's attack and kill him." Xu Xiu withdrew his eyes from the formation in the sky before speaking softly. Hua Chen loosened his shoulders. The expression in his eyes suddenly became malicious at this moment. The demon wings covered with bone spikes on his back slowly flapped as a dark and eerie voice was emitted. "Since he wishes to die, let's fulfill his wish." Hua Chen clenched his fist tightly after his words sounded and a powerful punch was suddenly thrown forward. Black light gathered crazily under his fist and transformed into a black ray of light that whistled forth. "Devouring demon finger." Xu Xiu's eyes were ice cold. His pitch-black finger sliced downwards and a strange black of light swept out. The surrounding space became slightly distorted as black light flashed and seemed to pierce through space itself. One was a straightforward attack, while the other was a hidden attack. Both contained waves of terrifying fluctuations. This power was sufficient to seriously injure an advanced profound death stage expert in an instant. Countless pairs of eyes watched as the attack shot forth. Many secretly sighed in their hearts. Lin Dong had indeed overestimated himself a little. These actions of his were no doubt equivalent to seeking death. Black lights penetrated space. In the next instant, It had already appeared in front of Lin Dong. Those tightly shut eyes of Lin Dong also suddenly opened at this moment as boundless solid-like energy surged within them. Ancient universe formation, reverse rotation demon destruction. The seals formed by Lin Dong's hand changed at lightning speed as a deep voice echoed. Bang bang. The 10,000 feet large formation in the sky slowly rotated in the opposite direction at this moment as a light pillar descended from the center of the formation. Finally, it fell straight down in front of Lin Dong and heavily smashed against the two powerful black lights. Bang! An earth-shaking sound spread as the black lights burst apart. Countless pairs of eyes were gathered at the area of collision. The black lights gradually faded under the countless watching gazes. A skinny figure holding the Lightning Emperor scepter slowly stepped forward into the sights of those numerous shocked gazes. Asterisk crash star. Noise spread like floodwaters at this moment while shock and astonishment surged within the eyes of many people. Lin Dong had actually managed to block this combined attack of Hua Chen and Xu Xiu. Hua Chen looked at the human figure that had walked out from the black light as surprise flashed across his eyes. His expression also slowly became distorted and ferocious. This is going to be interesting. The resplendent light transformed into countless spots of light that slowly scattered across the sky. Many pairs of eyes were staring at a young man who was walking out from within that wild and violent force. Their eyes appeared shaken. Who would have expected that Lin Dong was actually able to block a combined attack from Hua Chen and Xu Xiu? What a powerful formation! Some of the more experienced individuals quickly had a grave expression in their eyes as they stared at the 10,000 feet light formation rotating in the sky. They could detect a relatively powerful energy fluctuation radiating from it. To have the courage to oppose Hua Chen and Xu Xiu, it seems like Lin Dong did indeed possess some means. Lin Dong stepped on the empty space while majestic energy swiveled around his body like violent gales. Holding onto his Lightning Emperor scepter, lightning light continuously poured down from above while both of his eyes appeared as sharp as blades. He knew how powerful the two individuals in front of him were. Hence, he did not plan on probing their strength. Instead, against their combined attack, his first move was to summon a powerful tool like the ancient universe formation. However, even though his formation was extremely powerful, it was unable to completely block the two fiends standing in front of him. That formation is quite powerful. Let me handle it. You should go and kill him. Xu Xiu lifted his head. His diamond-shaped eyes stared indifferently at the formation, before he spoke in a faint voice. All right. Hua Chen parted his mouth and smiled. His eyes became dark and cold as he flapped the demon wings on his back, which were covered with sharp bones. Promptly, his body mysteriously vanished. Bang! The seals formed by Lin Dong's hands changed the moment Hua Chen vanished. The formation in the sky rotated, before a beam of light containing a disintegrating force shot downwards. Swoosh! However, the instant that light beam shot downwards, a ray of black light shot through the sky. It directly blocked the light beam with lightning-like speed. After which, one could see Xu Xiu slowly extending his black palms if one followed the direction of the black light. You are brave to fight against the two of us by yourself. Unfortunately, you are too foolish. The space in front of Lin Dong suddenly became distorted before Hua Chen appeared in a flash. He gave Lin Dong a ferocious smile. Clenching his hand, one could see an extremely sharp black demon thorn extending from his fist as a punch was thrown. Bang! The air under Hua Chen's palm exploded and a dent was formed under his palm. A powerful palm wind, which could seriously injure a profound death stage expert, was ruthlessly thrown towards Lin Dong. Clang! Lightning glow whistled down from the Lightning Emperor scepter. It immediately clashed heavily and ruthlessly against Hua Chen's fist wind. A metallic sound reverberated as an energy ripple, that was visible to the naked eye, spread across the sky. The wind spread and Lin Dong hurriedly took over a dozen steps back. Promptly, he solemnly stomped on the ground with his scepter. Only then did he finally manage to dissipate that force. Lifting his head, he stared at Hua Chen, who had merely taken a step back, with a grave expression in his eyes. Regardless of how many techniques Lin Dong had, Hua Chen was ultimately a genuine advanced profound death stage expert. Moreover, the latter also knew extremely powerful martial arts. Hence, it was no easy task for Lin Dong to defeat him. "That's all you got?" Hua Chen looked at Lin Dong mockingly. The black light on his body expanded and shrunk uncontrollably like poisonous snakes. His eyes suddenly became cold as he flapped the demon wings behind his back. He actually transformed into a black light that shot forward. Lin Dong's eyes narrowed slightly as he stared at that black light that was moving at a blinding speed. With a jerk of his body, he extended his green dragon wings. A green light flashed before he vanished in an instant. Bang! A fist that was wrapped by dense black light cut through the air and ruthlessly smashed towards the spot where Lin Dong had disappeared. The pressurized air seemed to whistle out like an air cannon, forming a 1,000 feet deep pit on a mountaintop below. Did his speed increase? Hua Chen's appeared in a flash. He glanced at Lin Dong, who had appeared in the distance, and lifted his brow. The latter's speed had clearly risen significantly after activating his pair of green dragon wings. On another mountain peak, Mu Lingshan was supporting Tang Xinlian. When the two girls saw the shocking fight that was occurring in the sky, their eyes became grave. Both of them could tell that Lin Dong seemed to have fallen into a slight disadvantage in the head-on fight with Hua Chen. Moreover, the most important fact was that Xu Xiu, who was as powerful as Hua Chen, had yet to join in the fight. At this moment, the latter was merely blocking the formation in the sky. If he managed to free himself and join the fight, Lin Dong would definitely wound up in an extremely perilous situation. "Let me recuperate briefly and I should be able to regain some of my strength." Tang Xinlian clenched her teeth and said. Mu Lingshan bit her red lips. Her tiny hands could not help but slowly tighten as she stared at the astonishing battle taking place in the sky. Meanwhile, blue light surged in the depths of her eyes. The fight in the sky became increasingly fierce. Both figures flashed through the sky like lightning. A shocking energy ripple would erupt each time they clashed. "Divine Lightning Demon Elimination Eye?" A stern cry sounded. Immediately, lightning flashed. A bright lightning beam shot out from the demon eye, which had appeared between his brows. It shot towards the black shadow in front of him with lightning-like speed. Bang! Frightening lightning spread and the figure was pushed back by 1,000 feet. The shrinking and expanding black glow on his body weakened slightly. Lightning Dragon Sealing Sky Scepter. Lin Dong had fought with countless people over all these years and he was naturally extremely experienced in combat. His attack suddenly became extremely vicious when he spotted an opening from Hua Chen. In a flash, he appeared in front of Hua Chen. The Lightning Emperor Scepter erupted and a lightning dragon rose. It charged forward at a shocking speed. Boom! Wild and violent thunderbolts spread while Hua Chen retreated once again. Black smoke rose from his body and the charred black traces on it caused him to appear somewhat miserable looking. As this was the first time that Hua Chen was reduced into such a miserable state ever since he appeared, this caused an uproar both within and outside of the immeasurable mirror. Many onlookers were quietly speechless. Lin Dong was indeed quite a capable individual. He was actually able to spot an opening from his opponent while at a disadvantage and launch a counter-attack. Hovering in the sky, Hua Chen wore a gloomy expression on his face as he took a glance at the charred bits of his body. Lin Dong had taken advantage of an opening and injured him, causing him to lose face. Finish him off. A delay might result in some unexpected consequences. Do not forget our main objective. In the distance, Xu Xiu suddenly spoke in a faint voice. Hua Chen nodded slightly. He stared at Lin Dong menacingly while monstrous black light swept out from within his body. Promptly, the black symbols on his body became increasingly glaring. Threads of strange black flames danced on his skin, the flame burned and the space itself became distorted. Xu Xiu once again lifted his dark black hand while black flames rose on Hua Chen's body. From the looks of it, it was clear that they were going to attack again. Huff! When Lin Dong saw this scene, he involuntarily inhaled a deep breath of air. It was only after a head-on clash with Hua Chen did Lin Dong finally understand how powerful he was. If Xu Xiu was to join in the fight at this moment, the pressure on him would soar several times. Even Lin Dong felt a great headache when dealing with such powerful opponents. All he could do was to try his best. Bang bang! The huge ancient universe formation in the sky once again began to rotate slowly. An extremely powerful ripple spread. Swoosh! A bright red light whistled directly from Lin Dong's palm. It swelled with the wind and turned into a large crimson cauldron. The cauldron shook and 8 bright red lights suddenly whistled forth. After which, they transformed into 8 large bright red gates in the sky. Waves of terrifying heat spread. 8 level burning sky gates. The yuan power in the air seemed to have turned wild and violent the moment the 8 bright red gates appeared. The eyes of many onlookers also became increasingly solemn. Lin Dong did not stop after summoning the burning sky gates from the burning sky cauldron. He suddenly slammed the lightning emperor scepter in his hand heavily onto the ground before 10,000 lightning whizzed out in all directions. Roar! An earth-shaking roar was emitted. Immediately, countless number of people saw 9 huge lightning dragons soaring into the sky. A shocking thunder resounded and shook the entire place. Lightning Emperor Scepter, 9 dragons return. In the sky, a 10,000 feet large formation was rotating, together with 8 gates and 9 dragons in position. This fast and mighty attack caused even the expressions of the Hua Chen duo to alter. This video will end here.